Okay, hello everybody. It's Mike from MBoxWave.com. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little different than what I usually do for my videos. Um, I want to talk about a momentum-based semi-automated strategy. Um, Actually, I started doing this in the last few months. I've been swing trading some stocks, but I've also seen many use cases for this in day trading as well. And I wanted to go through some examples here because this is a semi-automated strategy, and I know that trading can be frustrating watching the charts, but semi-automated meaning that you can get a trigger or an alert, and then you kind of look in to see what you're going to do, and then manage the trade, you know. And if you don't have much time, that could be optimal. So you don't have to stare at the charts all the time. We're going to be looking mostly at momentum. We're going to be using XPace here heavily. We're looking for large XPace. It has to be huge. And then, determining the plan of action. There are two use cases, right? When there's a large XPace, it could either be climactic, which is an end of a move, or it could be a start of a move. So our job is determining which one is it, and place the trade accordingly. And we'll use the Wyckoff and order flow concepts of determining which case it is likely to be, right? So we're going to take the evidence and the data we see and see what stacks in which directions favor, and go with that side. Okay, I'm in this video. I'll talk a little bit about stocks. I'll hit on Forex and futures. People trade variety. Now, I want to show that this is pretty versatile. This can be used not only day trading, could be used swing trading, longer term, etc. Let's get started. So, to begin with, I'd like to show one of my personal trades I did until I closed out my position just yesterday, and I wanted to show the strategy that I used for trading Intel. I talked about Intel in my previous webinars, and I seem to like the stock, so I guess I like to trade it. Here we go. So I zoomed out, so there's a lot of clutter, a lot of labels because it's zoomed out, and you're probably like, okay, what the heck's going on? All right. So we zoomed out in order to look at the XPace, right? Right here. So the points of interest of XPace are where it darts up, high. Like here, 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 and here, right? And back in, I think, somewhere in September, I set an alert, and I'll show you how to do that here in TradingView when the XPace is large, right? So at the time, I had data here, the left-hand data here, and I set it around 50,000, which was here, which was about half of this. Well, a little less, but I figured if it's over 50,000, relatively, it's got to be a significant, right? So let's take just as an example, a line. Okay, drew at 52,000. It's the exact number. It doesn't matter, right? And so I thought, okay. Here, there's a push of the offers pace, and then price grew considerably. Well, significantly enough where you can make profit on. And I thought, okay, if we meet this level again, I'll pay attention, right? I didn't have my alert placed back in July, but it would have triggered here where there's a lot of bid pace, and then we see we did have this corrective move down right here. Okay, so when it hit the alarm again here, end of October, I got a message on TradingView, and we see that there's this E here, right? So there's an earnings and revenue. It was positive, right? So it got picked up by the XPace and it darted up substantially, right? I started monitoring it. I didn't get in, the next bar after, right? I got in a couple days later, you know, around here. I think around the 36 and change mark. Somewhere around here I got in. I started monitoring it and I saw that we had all these, positive long signals here, like it's, accumulating. We had this nice buying accumulation here, right? So after the first bar, I didn't have this data yet, okay? And, then we see that the selling dries up, in that manner. Draw it red, okay? And, I got in, right? But this is what triggered it right here was that XSpace, okay? And if you're using the TradingView version, you can right click it and you can do add alert on horizontal line and you do XSpace crossing, all right, or crossing up so that on its way up once per bar, and you can choose an expiration date or open-ended alert. Set your alert name. Okay, you'll have the message XSpace crossing up horizontal line on Intel on the 15-minute chart. You create it, okay, and then you'll get alerted. All right, so that's exactly what happened. All right, I got the alert. We want to go into markets when it's moving, when it's volatile, not when it's born. Granted, this alert did not trigger on this move up, did not trigger on this move down, okay? So it doesn't trigger, everywhere. You'd have to lower the line then, But I want to make things, as easy as possible and do what is obvious, and, pick a high enough level for the XSpace so it gets triggered where it's interesting. Then you zoom in and you analyze, the order flow. And you see that, the selling here contracted, all right, and then, the accumulation came in after this huge spike, and then off we went. So I thought that was a pretty good bet, and it worked out. If people are curious, how did I decide to exit? Well, I saw that we're approaching this congestion area. I thought I'll get out, take my profits, not get greedy. It's as simple as that. Let's continue. That was Intel. I've had people ask me about Forex, so let's take a look at Forex. All right, this is the Euro USD. And I'd like to point out, see, using this strategy, it's not necessary, to sit on the screens every single day, but if you do get alerted, you need to start watching. So that's why it's semi-automated. All right. I know the dream come true is full automation, but that's a lot more difficult to do. Maybe one day I can do it, but for now, even semi-automated is pretty good for me when I'm doing this, when I'm not doing the day trading. Anyway, so I pulled up the Euro USD, and we can use a marker, say, we're trading November. I say, okay, this level looks pretty good, This level looks pretty good, right? And then so I zoom in, right? I didn't trade this, but we're just going through some examples, right? You would get alerted here on the high XSpace, right? And, the move didn't go, on a super trend up, but there's money to be made here, okay? After this, there's money to be made, And it was a decent setup because we see there was accumulation here, accumulation. Selling is mediocre, and then, selling dries up. We punch up. If you get in here and try to write it out, you see it becomes stagnant in here. You exit, you take a profit. You go, let's see, from here, 0709, and say you got out here, 0749, 40 pips. All right, doesn't seem like a huge amount, but hey, this was almost no effort, this kind of trade. you monitor it a little bit and take some cream off. Okay, let's see what the next one brought. The next one, say we busted here, the horizontal line. Here there was more juice to squeeze, okay? And like I said, the two use cases, climactic or start of a move. So we haven't gotten to the climactic example yet, but we're on the start of the move. Start of the move is usually contingent on accumulation, right? So we see this build up here, right? In the MBox histogram, we see buildup in the cumulative delta. Then XSpace explodes, and then we go up. After we go up, look at all these sell imbalances: minus 21, minus 58, minus 12. Starting to look not so bullish anymore. That's a sort of change of behavior in technical analysis and a valid exit if you're using technical analysis, right? So you could pick up a lot more pips in this round. Doesn't look like there was a level of resistance. Maybe you got to go even further out. But this was a good trade if you took it based on this blasting XSpace and got out on these negative numbers here. It's legitimate, right? Let's see if we can get somewhere where it's I know I drew this line here, but let's say this triggered right here. What do we do in this scenario? Right here, because this did not continue. This was not the start of the move here. It was the end of a move, and then it bounced back up, and kind of wavered up, So the way, like I said, remember we saw the start of the move. That looked like there was accumulation, some build up here, just boom. Look at the MBox histogram. The selling just boom, and this boom right here. There was no build up, right? Again, we saw this build up, this arrow here, and we go back here. It just happened. There was no, selling was going sort of flatlined here. And then it just, boom, drops the MBox histogram, right? It just suddenly. So that's the difference. So the XSpace, needs to be read in context, right? That's why it's also semi-automated and not automated. But, if you read it in this context where all of a sudden when boom, you see there's no follow through, there's money to be made on this move, right? Let's look at Nasdaq futures. All right. And I'm using 15-minute time frame right now just so that, this is for people that don't want too many signals or too many, decisions to make, that only want it when something is going on, So here it seems, Nasdaq is very volatile, so we're getting a lot more spikes here, So you can decide, okay, what's worthwhile. There's a lot of these smaller spikes. Maybe we're not interested in those. Okay, maybe we want something more. We want the substantial spikes, right? So if we take, say, a baseline from October and split it in half around here, somewhere here, we'll get this horizontal line, right? So let's see what kind of setup. So if we did that, we would hit here, 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 and here 4 times. Now, if you want more trades, you can lower the baseline and get more of these spikes. All right. I'm showing a use case for probably, bigger trades or more volatility. All right. So this one was really great reversal. Okay. It's a climactic end of a move that we met here. Okay. And, we always look at the follow through. Okay. So here again, there was no buildup of selling. It just went boom. It just took a dump right here down and quickly reversed. I mean, if you didn't know what to do here, by the time it comes back to around this price level, you know that this whole move failed, right? And there's profit to be made, going here to here, if you can catch it, okay? Um, let's go on to the next one. So we're skipping a lot. Okay, so here, this is an example of the start of the move, right? So here, we didn't get that nice accumulation, that I like to see, right? But what we did get, we do get this, selling exhaustion pattern. And do you see here the MBox histogram and the cumulative delta don't seem to agree, right? Here it looks like expanding, here it's contracting. So we get conflicted information for, bearish, right? So, you wouldn't be going short. And on this XPACE here with this, contradictory sort of, MBox histogram, cumulative delta selling, that could be very bullish because it's like the bears couldn't decide what to do, right? So well, maybe this one isn't quite clear, so I'm not going to try to rationalize it. It is possible to trade, but this is what the alert would have triggered. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, see this one was a pretty lucrative move down here. We got triggered here, the large XPACE. All right, and it doesn't have that as nice of a buildup. It has a little bit, okay, but you can see if it dumps and then you're not quite sure, see what the follow through is. We corrected at this 34. We had this 390, which is huge supply, greater than what we see here. And if price continues going lower, we see this. We see now the buildup. So say you don't get in right away, but actually around here we've got the buildup of the cumulative delta, and we still got a punch in the MBox histogram. That could be a legitimate area to go short, and there's plenty to make there, Also, we analyze what happened here at these higher highs. We had this buying. We made a higher high here, but there's less overall buying. And here the MBox histogram on the buying is not as strong, okay? So if you look at that into context, you see there's sort of change of behavior. We get this massive XPACE, selling begins to roll in, and then we get a continued, down push, right? So that would have worked out quite nicely, And it began with this. It began with the X control of the bids even before the XPACE perked up. So actually that was pretty nice, we continue going here. This is the latest, right? November 14th, right? So here it punched up. If you would have gotten in, okay, yeah, there's some juice to squeeze here, okay, if you could see that, These are just examples, right, of, XPACE, right? Start a move or climactic, okay? And, there's juice to squeeze, money to be made. So, the criteria I did, on the 15-minute chart, this would have triggered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the past, month and a half, all right? Because I'm only interested when it's good. If you want to do more often, let's look at the 5-minute chart. Because there's only a certain limit how much I can zoom out here. But the areas of interest would be here, here, and here. When it spikes. I think, those arrows from the 15-minute chart. But you know, say we drew something, I don't know, something from here, you know, arbitrary, right? And we begin, you know, to analyze. You know, say we drew, I don't know, trying to be methodical. You find a peak that you like, and we drew the line there. Fine. All right. So say we started here, you know, October 19th, right? So this isn't going to trigger even necessarily every day. Right, so we have, oh, this is before we even see the wave data because TradingView has that 500 or 5,000 limitation. All right, so I can't use the numbers here to compare. But see, there was this push, price went back up, and then we had this move down. I would like to see the numbers, so let's go forward until the examples have the wave numbers. But this was a look. This one was a push down, and that was pretty good. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. You could put an ATR stop strategy. You know, things like that. All right, now we've got data. All right, so this one was the start of a move. Okay, and we had the nice offer total control here. You know, like I said, at the time this thing occurs, it doesn't look like there's too much going on here, so maybe you won't get in right away, but you'll wait for the reaction, you know. If you saw this at 7:30 in the morning, okay, so you know there's something substantial going on. And now it's around, you know, 9:30 or something. You saw there was accumulation here and so forth. And up we went, you know, money to be made. Let's see where the next example was. Okay, in this example, we're in a down move. You know, same concept. At the time this happens, perhaps that's the early entry. We didn't have the buildup, but you know, you wait, what, half hour, we're around here, we see there's a buildup of selling. There's money to be made in this move, okay? We keep going. All right, this one, November 14th. Huge bar too, you know? Huge bar. This case, we also didn't have much of a buildup, but after this happens, you know that there is we know there's huge volatility. That's what it's telling us. And if we observe here, we see there's buy imbalance here, which is nice. You know, it's bullish. You know, I mean, we're talking about, you know, look at this, 15,833. You know, if you write it up a couple candles, you make over 100 points. Okay, in what is it here, half hour or something, you know. So you're being alerted when the market is super volatile. That's what setting, you know, this XPACE, going back to the two use cases, either climactic, end of a move, or start of a move. Semi-automated strategy, use it for stocks, swing trading, Forex, futures, whatever, you know. I started using this strategy for stocks a few months ago, and it's been working out pretty good because I like trading stocks, but you know, I hate having to you know, scan or look or whatever. So I have just a list of stocks, and I put, you know, alerts, and I just wait for them to trigger the large XPACE. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully this is beneficial and could provide additional ways people can trade MBoxWave. That's what it's all about. There's an infinite number of ways you can trade MBoxWave. That's the whole thing. You know, and new strategies, you know, perhaps are yet to be discovered. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, And if you like it, put a like or a comment. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Goodbye.